Breaking news from Ottawa. Canada has officially recognized the State of Palestine, a move that's sending shockwaves across the globe. What does this mean for international diplomacy, Canada's foreign relations, and the growing tensions in the Middle East? Let's break it all down.
It was 7:03 a.m., but take a look at the record high from 1965 was 31.1 degrees. So while it was a comfortable day, nothing like that, but it also wasn't even close to the low. Back in 1973, the low was minus 1.7
How it's going today?
Oh, take a look at this, the final one right there. The provincial.
Okay, I'm just giving a road run today.
Ding, ding, ding. 28.2.
Just driving out for an evening drive, showing you the street. Traffic, all traffic moving.
So Canada has recognized the State of Israel for more than 70 years, and today it means to officially recognize Palestine as a state. The move was matched by several allies ahead of the 80th meeting of the United Nations this summer. You can be spoken for as well, the reaction at home and abroad. Ahead of the UN General Assembly, passed by the Israeli parliament calling for the annexation of Gaza, and so Israel has contributed to a humanitarian disaster in the enclave. It does send a clear message to Israel that they should get back to the negotiating table. They should begin once again to think in terms of the two-state solution. Today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu repeated his assertion there will not be a Palestinian state. The United Kingdom and Australia joined Canada in recognizing Palestine, all of 10 countries, including France, who plan to do so this week. As long as the occupation continues, and no one is still committed to any occupation, their state's recognition doesn't really change anything in their daily lives. While some are calling for sanctions on Israel, others are criticizing the decision they say will work Hamas and does little to push for a demilitarized and democratic Palestine. Hamas is involved in this process, continuing to hold the hostages, continuing to oppress Gazans, continuing to divert humanitarian aid, and continuing to attack Israelis. Government officials say while Canada now recognizes the State of Palestine, it still has a no-contact policy with Hamas, comparing the situation to Canada's position on Afghanistan and Pierre Poilievre has been critical of the federal government handling of trade tensions with the United States. CBC Press Secretary host Rashid Fellow spoke with him about how he'd like to see Canada respond to the Trump administration's tariffs.
Are you saying that you would have dollar for dollar shifts about 50% emphasis, for example?
shipping ban, the industrial carbon tax. I would make it so the capital gains tax is zero when businesses or investors reinvest their capital in Canada, opening mines, factories, pipelines, and other job-creating economic infrastructure that would make us more self-reliant and less dependent on other countries. So I said to Mr. Carney, that's an idea. Take the Canadian tax, yes, put them to law. Let's unlock a massive building boom in this country to the power of free enterprise. And then the Americans say, look, we actually do have options now because our economy is booming and our markets are growing. That's how you go and negotiate a solid deal.
Party government passed legislation fast-tracking labor projects if they're declared to be in the national interest and outline the first projects that will be considered under those rules. The Conservative leader says the PM was taking credit for proposals that were more or less already approved. And this comes as the Liberals prepare to table the federal budget on October 4th.
The federal government is launching public consultations on the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement, or CUSMA. It is preparing for a planned review of the trade agreement, with many industries provinces, territories, industries, and workers ahead of the general review of the trade agreement next year. The consultations come as Canada works to secure trade agreements with partners other than the U.S. Earlier this week, the Prime Minister announced a new economic and security agreement with Mexico.
The commander of the Royal Canadian Navy is warning the service isn't out of the woods amid an ongoing recruitment crisis. 2 years ago, Vice Admiral Angus Potofsky posted a video online saying the Navy was in a critical state and facing very serious challenges. That could mean it would fail to meet force, officer, and readiness commitments. He even told the Canadian press that there have been signs of improvement in some areas thanks to a new one-year naval experience program for women Navy. But he said the Navy is still running short on staff for roles ranging from marine technicians to cooks. Potofsky said he hopes the recently announced military pay raise and plans to buy new high-tech gear, including submarines, will go a long way to boost recruitment.
As the number of hate crimes reported to police across Canada continues to climb, the Carney government is planning new hate crimes legislation. Justice Minister and Attorney General Tom Fraser said that is a rare concern that the proposed law is criminalize hate crimes. He's taking good things to ensure that the legislation sees the right to expression.
few days ago in Congo. When I saw the no vote, there were only 2 Caucasians. For the most part, the only people that voted no were people of color, because the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there was rhetoric that specifically targeted people of color. And so it is unfortunate that even our colleagues could not see how harmful his rhetoric was, specifically to us. Whether it's heated or not, the fact is Charlie Kirk should still be here. It should not have been that there was political violence that resulted because of the words that were coming out of his mouth. Pennsylvania's Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro, whose official residence was set on fire by a suspected arsonist in April, said Americans have to come together and condemn political violence no matter where it is.
Russia carried out another drone strike in Ukraine today. Ukraine's State Emergency Service shared footage of rescue workers battling a fire caused by an attack on the northeastern city of Sumy. No injuries were reported. This comes as France and the UK weigh in on questions around NATO's response to Russian aerial incursions in Eastern Europe and whether it went far enough.
I don't think NATO's holding back. We sent a Typhoon and a Voyager to support NATO missions in the eastern flank, and of course we are in close contact with both Poland and Estonia. This is a very serious breach. It's potentially a serious escalation.
French President Emmanuel Macron told CBS Face the Nation he was not concerned about the fact that the United States had not joined his country and the UK in sending fighter jets to take part in the new mission securing NATO's eastern flank. He said Washington is actively contributing in other ways. He also said countries had to increase pressure to get Russia back to the negotiating table.
Airports across Europe are experiencing disruptions for a second straight day after hijackers disrupted automatic check-in systems on Saturday. The Cyberattacks targeted systems run by Collins Aerospace that led to disruptions at airports in London, Dublin, Brussels, and Berlin. While the disruptions have eased, airport officials say they are continuing delays. Brussels Airport has asked airlines to cancel half of scheduled departing flights on Monday. An investigation into the cyber attack is ongoing. Still to come, the Maple Leafs return to the ice today.
The team faced off with Ottawa in their first game of the preseason.
Posted once it's turned over here. Here's Yardstroke to the net. Scores! Kelly Yardstroke!
We'll have more on the team's first competitive action when we come back.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400. This is News Talk 1010, Time Saver Traffic. It's all volume delays out there right now, eastbound on the 401, approaching the 427 to Kiel. If you're southbound on the DVP from Finch to south of Lawrence, and the Gardner westbound delays from Jarvis to past Royal York, eastbound from Islington to Jameson. Traffic is brought to you by 407 ETR. Lease a transponder and say goodbye to camera charges and monthly account fees on your 407 ETR bill. Order one today at 407etr.com/transponder. Time Saver Traffic, I'm Aldo Lacani. Your next update at 6:45 on News Talk 1010 Toronto.
Joanne wanted to sell her home so she could move in with her children and finally get more time with the grandkids. But like many people, she felt unsure. She was actually scared about the market, worried about making the wrong move. That's when she reached out to the team she could trust, Frank Leo and Associates, the #1 rematch team of the GTA, proudly serving clients across Ontario. Joanne thought about waiting. She was hoping the market would get better. But she talked to Frank and his team, and she realized the time to act was now. They put their $1 million guaranteed home selling system into action, and everything changed. Her property sold quickly and for more money. The stress, that was gone. Now Joanne's right where she wants to be, living with her family, making memories. If you're thinking of selling, don't wait. Get the advice and proven results you can count on. Call the agent I trust and recommend, my friend Frank Leo and his award-winning team, 416-917-LION. That's 416-917-5466. Or visit getleo.com. That's getleo.com, and you can start packing with confidence.
Get 4 months of NFL on TSN for $69.99, featuring the biggest games of the season. Also included TSN Plus with NFL Red Zone. Tune in, turn up. Offer ends September 30th. Visit tsn.ca/subscribe/NFL.
I went to the website of a famous online diamond company to find their price for a 5-carat natural diamond.
And how much was it?
More than $130,000.
How much was a 5-carat created diamond?
Their average price was more than $15,000.
What is our price for a 5-carat created diamond? $6,499.
Wow! How much?
$6,499.
Wow! Look online, then come to Spence.
In Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices excluded if free.
Mark's Friends and Family event is on now. September 18th to 21st. Take 25% off full-priced items store-wide. Plus, save up to 60% on door crasher deals. Select brands and styles. Visit marksandmarks.com.
At Food Basics, wowza deals make dinner easy. Get 398 milliliter Heinz beans or pasta for just 98 cents each. Shop in-store and online until September 24th. Food Basics, always more for less.
With most Subaru models, all-wheel drive comes standard. Heated front seats, high ground clearance, Apple CarPlay, standard. Eyesight driver assist to help when you're distracted by fall foliage, standard. Guy announcing the radio ad now wanting a Subaru? Yeah, standard. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models. And get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Hey, seriously, can I get one?
For contests, podcasts, audio, and the latest news, connect with News Talk 1010 online at newstalk1010.com.
Today marks the last official day of summer. And David Phillips, senior climatologist for Environment Canada, took a look back at the season.
It sort of came later and left early. I mean, that was really amazing. I mean, we had to wait till almost the last week of June before we started complaining about the heat and humidity. And people thought, was this going to be the year without summer? And then it was going, and then 55 days, all nicely packaged there in late June, July, and up to the first couple of weeks in August. Wow, we had some excruciatingly warm temperatures. And then about the middle of August, it sort of went away, and people thought, oh, it's over. We'll write the obituary on summer-like weather.
And then it came back, just like the cat came back. And today was just a beautiful day. The last day, last day of summer. Really was lovely if you had a chance to get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah, it was a great day, and the good news is it's not like all of a sudden tomorrow, now that we're in autumn, we're going to get into very chilly temperatures. We have a great week ahead, and we also have some precipitation, which is good news because we haven't had a lot in this month of September. So let's get right to it. Let's show you. The autumnal equinox, 2:19 p.m. on Monday, September 22nd. That is when we welcome it. Temperatures right now are very comfortable, 22 degrees in Toronto and a touch warmer up in Muskoka. Well, if you're heading out this evening, just be mindful that later on tonight, there are likely going to be some showers, also a risk of a thunderstorm. Right now, we're looking at around 9 p.m. and onwards. From a temperature perspective, still very comfortable, 20 degrees, and the sun will be setting at 7:17 p.m. Tonight's lows well above normal in the city of Toronto, 18 degrees. Normal for this time of year will be 10. As you wake up tomorrow, still a chance of showers. That's going to linger. The risk of thunderstorms will end. You can see by 9 a.m., 20 degrees with a 40% chance of showers, and we are still dealing with some humidity. Tomorrow's highs, seasonal, keep in mind, is 19, so we are well above that. It's going to be feeling like 29 in Toronto. And
Canada's recognition of Palestine marks a historic shift, but the story is just beginning. How will Israel, the U.S., and Canada's allies respond? Stay tuned as we continue to follow this developing story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update on global affairs.